Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and today's bonus content. We're still on 2 videos a day during our lockdown, and yesterday was day 50 rather incredibly, so we're moving on. We're cracking on anyway. Gave a little bit more thought to the mouse issue. I know there was some surprise that my USB ports used up by a microphone and a light, but I'm afraid that is literally the way it is. Without the light, what do I look like? I look like that. Now, maybe you could live with that level of darkness, but I'd still have to be learning to use a mouse because I've used a trackpad for so long on this, so I'm going to carry on with it, I'm afraid. Anyway, this puzzle is very interesting. It's by Greg Rogers Powers, who was the one who's the guy who introduced us a while ago to odd pentomino Sudoku, which then, I suppose, inspired the Patreon puzzle that we made. And good news today, the video showing how to solve that has gone up on Patreon. Big day on Patreon, actually, as well as that video, which is for the $3 Patreons. We're also putting up a crossword video for the first time in over a week. My solve of the Times monthly really hard puzzle. That's after a very quick solve by me of the what's called the quick cryptic in the Times, just for context and contrast. And then also on Patreon, not behind the paywall. So do pop over there and have a look at a free puzzle that we've put up today, a Sudoku style puzzle that's quite interesting, I think. So that's all going on there. And here, as I say, we have this puzzle by Greg Rogers Powers. This is nothing to do with odd pentominoes. This is to do with snakes. Now, I don't know if you remember the concept of snakes in grids. We've done a few videos about that before, but the basic rules for a snake in a puzzle context is that it can pass through the grid without ever touching its own path diagonally or orthogonally. So once this snake, for instance, had gone up here, it now can't go left because it would be touching itself diagonally. It could now come here, but it couldn't go any further. So it would then have to curl. Oh no, it couldn't do that because that's touching itself diagonally as well. So this snake could go like this. And as you may be guessing, the 2 blue cells in the grid are the head and tail of one snake, and that snake is an even snake. Its whole length is even digits, and unsurprisingly, the 9 and 3 are the head and tail of an odd snake. Now, there are some clues outside the grid as well. They just show how many cells of that row or column are occupied by snakes. And that's it. As well as normal Sudoku rules, that's all we have. I do like puzzles with simple rule sets. Please, we've had actually quite a raft of puzzles in lately where people have combined 4 or 5 different rule sets, as well as Prasanna's astonishing puzzle that Simon solved yesterday, which combined 14 in one 9x9 grid. Now, I mean, they're fun for a one-off, but they're pretty complicated to show in a video, so I'm not really encouraging puzzles of that type, to be honest. If you send them in, they're going to have to be extraordinarily good before we'll really think about doing a video about them, because people want to be able to understand the rules that we're using. So that's all the intro for today. You can try the puzzle on our link below the video before watching the solve if you want. Just one very quick reminder of the rules. The orange and blue cells shown are the heads and tails of 2 snakes. One is an odd snake, one is an even snake. The snakes cannot touch themselves, including diagonally. They just make a 1-cell path through the grid. And they cannot touch each other, even diagonally. So I should have made that clear as well. That's part of the rules. Okay, with that re-emphasized, let's get cracking. Okay, I mean, I'm intrigued to see that Greg himself has used I think this is Greg's own shading, what I stumbled on yesterday as O for orange for odd, and even is blue, both 4 letters. We'll take that. So orange is odd, blue is even, but I guess it would help to shade all the cells that are potentially on the snake. So if we leave blue for the even snake, orange for the odd snake, let's shade all the other odds in the grid as, this is to go with orange, so I'm going to make them yellow. And I'm going to make the other even cells in the grid purple. So the blue can pass through purples but not through yellows. The orange can pass through yellows but not through purples. Actually, this central cell is diagonally connected to both. So I'm going to make that grey. The snake cannot possibly go through that. And in fact, I think this is probably where, let's just put back, let's put in ones because they're limited in this central box. And 8s are limited up there to one of those two. There's not a lot of other similar digits going on really to give us much limitation. So I think we're going to have to look at the paths of the snakes. And it looks at first glance as though the even snake has kind of 3 ways it could get from 6 to 8. And one is coming down here, and it could go through that 2 or it could avoid it, but it has to pass between this 5 and 3 and it could get down to there. That's one way through the puzzle. The other way is through this hole here, and then it could come down to here. And the other way is through the 4 up here. Actually, then it could come down here, or it could go through the 4 and go up there. So maybe there's 4 ways. Now it'd be useful to eliminate some of those. And of course, some of them have a serious effect on the 3 snake. Actually, let's have a look at the odd snake, because again, that's got separate paths. Actually, it's got fewer. So it could come through this 3 here, which is kind of 1, and it could pass through the 5 and 1. If it doesn't go that way around, it can't come through here because it will touch the even snake for sure. It could just come up here through that 1, and that's it basically. So that only, it has to either go through the 3 or through the 1. But which of those is a more useful? See, this would be quite restrictive on the blue snake. Actually, I've said the blue snake can come down here, but how is it going to get through? It can't touch that cell, or that cell, because it will be within one of the odd snake. And even there it can't touch, because that would diagonally touch the snake. So it would have to come down to here. And it couldn't come straight down, because that would be 5 even digits. So it would have to come through the 2, either like that or like that. Both of those are possible. But then, how's it going to get from here? It has to come through this cell to here. Oh, sorry. Look, there's this 2 clue. That means it can only go once in row 4. Yeah, well, actually, both the versions we've shown do that. Okay, that's fine. But this 4 clue says you can only have 4 snake cells in this row. And of course, you can only have 4 even digits in the row. So if this came, yeah, the point I think is that it comes into this box 8 here, whichever way you do it, it has to. It can't then come here because of this 3, so it has to come here. And that's 2 even cells used up. Now, how's it going to get out to box 9? Well, if it was to come down to here, that would use up 5 cells that would all be even in the box. That's impossible. The alternative is for it, having got here, to come straight across and then to go into box 9. And as soon as it's done that, there's now 5 even cells in this row because there's a 4 here and you've put 4 even cells there. So I think that that proves that it can't come through this cell and therefore that the even snake can't come this way at all. So can it come straight across here? No, it can't, because we've got to avoid all of those cells that are around that 3 that's part of the odd snake. So it would have to go all the way along here. So that's impossible. 5 even cells in a row, in one row. So it's got to go through here. So I'm going to make this purple cell blue. Okay. So the snake has to come through the 4. I don't know if it has to come through the 8. It could do. We've got a 5 clue here. And a 4 clue here, but this snake can't possibly come into any of these lower cells. So it's a maximum of 2 cells being used in that row. But I mean, it could kind of do that. What can we decide about that? How's it going to get to this 8? Look, we've got a 5 clue here as well. Now that's, in theory, 4 blues, 4 evens is possible up here. Although I think that would make it, I don't know. I don't know how we conclude about that. Oh, but now it gets to here. It either has to come through this gap or this one. And if it came through there, yeah, this isn't going to work. You can only have 4 cells in the end column. This is where perhaps choosing yellow hasn't helped because of the yellow highlight that we do. But, okay, I'll make these blue. But imagine that this snake came through here. That's already 3 cells in the end column. It would then have to get out of the end column to here. The only way that you could then get out of this column with only 4 cells in box 6 would be with 3 there, but it can't then carry on because there'd then be 4 already in column 8. So that's not possible either. You can't get into column 7. It would use just too many in this box. So it's got to come down here. So they're blue as well. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean this is 8 yet, although I might think it's going to be. So this comes up here, but I don't know how it gets there. But it goes down there. Now, how can it? Now that's already used 3 cells in column 4. So it can't exit box 6 into box 9. Sorry, in column 7. So it can't exit in column 7. And it could exit in column 9. It's going to have to, oh yeah, this 2. Remember this 2. So the blue snake can only pass once through this central row and the orange snake once. So where's it going to pass through? It can't be here because that would take too many blue cells in this box. It can't be here because that would take too many in the column. So it's got to be here. That's where it passes through the blue and comes straight out. We haven't broken any rules yet. We've got 4 in box 6. We've got 4 in column 8. Now it has to leave column 8. Can't come here because it would need another one at some point in column 7. So it comes here and finishes off. So having done all that, we've got we've got 2 boxes that have got all their even cells entirely filled. So we can make all the others purple. This column as well. Oh no, not purple, sorry. Purple's on the snake. Yellow is odd but not on the snake. There we go. This one's yellow as well, so it's not 8 now. Excellent. So we do know that 8 is there already. That's good. Now this column needs another even number at the top to make up 5 of them. Oh, we can actually fill them in. Might as well do that. 2 there and 6 there. Now, still, that doesn't have to be the path of the snake. The snake could come this way. Just the fact that they're even isn't a problem, I don't think. This wasn't mentioned in the rules. So these are 4, 8, and 6. The top one isn't 6. This is a 2. This is 6 and 4. We can fill them in because there's a 4 over here. Wow, I mean, I didn't expect to get so much Sudoku done, the numbers filled in before establishing the snakes. But that is something. Now, can we use these other clues? So, whichever way the snake comes in here, oh no, it could use 2 of those cells in this column, in column 6. So down here, it's either 2 or 3 long. And that means it has to be directly starting from the 3. It can't sort of come back into that without touching itself. So this one is definitely orange. And this one might be, but we don't know, because I don't know yet. I think this is... Oh no, that's not a possible combination, is it? That would use far too many even cells in this box. Could you come in from here? No, because that would now be 5 even cells. Okay, I don't think there's any way for this 8 to be used in the snake, because you just couldn't get to it from some other box that this 6 had started from without using too many cells in row 1 or the box. Perfect. Oh, how about from here? Oh no, we said that was possible and it remains possible. Okay, so there is one way. But it can't come from over here. That would use too many. And actually, that would force this snake to use 6 odds down there. So 6 doesn't come left at all, definitely. It doesn't come into column 3. I mean, this even snake. So from here, it either does that or it gets to there. Either like that or like that, or like that. Okay, there's a few possibilities, but whichever one of those it uses, it only goes through this column once. Definitely, yes. Any of those possibilities use column 6 once. So this bit of the snake has 3 snake pieces in that column. Now, how the heck are we going to use 5 in column 5? Well, it could be 4 there and 1 there. Were any of these 3? Yes, some of them were. In fact, that one was. This was only 2. Interesting. So now the same restrictions don't quite apply with the odds, because you can have 5 in a box. Okay, but there's 4 in this row, and we've got to get across to there, and we've begun coming down here. We've used 1 over there, 2 now. We can use 1 more, but then we would have to cross it again. So it could be like that without going into the bottom row, or it could be like that and then moving up. I don't know. Maybe I should be able to tell, or maybe there's some Sudoku or something that's going to give it to me. No, 2 is actually restricted to one of those 2 cells. Oh, well, yes. In this row. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so row 8, we've got 4 odd cells marked in yellow and orange already. So we can only have 1 more, and we need, 2 more than the one we know for the snake. So the 5 is in the snake, and whatever other odd number is in the snake. Now we know the 3's in the snake. This 3's got to come through here now. That was obvious ever since we started putting the blue snake in. Now, there's only 1 other odd number. It must be on the snake. Oh, but it could still be there. Or it could be here. Or even there, actually. That hasn't ruled anything out. Okay, I'm missing something, I think, here. What am I missing? Maybe I can determine this one. maybe the fact that there's an 8 here is quite important. 2, 4, 6 and 8. That's certainly possible. Isn't it? Oh, mind you, then all of these would be odd. Oh, and then the snake couldn't get out to this row. Okay, if all of these were even, these would all be odd. We'd now have 5 odd cells in this box, and the snake couldn't get out through one of these because those 5 odds are already taken up. So there are not 4 being used there. It must be the alternative of 3 being used there. I think it's these 3. Yeah, if it was these 3, you'd just have too many even numbers in this box to get the 6 in. Yes, and it's not all those 4. So it's these 3 are even. Perfect. So that 1 cannot be there. And 1 must be here, and we can place a 2 there. I'm sure this is right. I mean, God, I'm not expert at these puzzles. So now I'm saying these can't all be odd. So everything else in the row is odd. Let's make them all yellow. I'm giving up on the grey. I don't really need it anymore. So they're all odd. This must be even, and this must be how the snake carries on, because the snake can't touch itself. It doesn't go up and do the 8, 6. So it goes through here. These 3 are 4, 2 and 6. We can actually fill them all in now because of that 2 and that 4. This one is an 8. I mean, that's a 4 now, actually. We've damn near completed the whole snake with its even digits. That one I should not have made blue. I should make that, what is it, purple. Sorry. Sorry if that's been annoying you. That's not the colour scheme I said. I said it would be purple until we'd proved it was on the snake, and I left it blue. My apologies. That one is purple. This one is yellow because it's odd, but definitely not on the snake. This is weird. Okay, row 4 now. The remaining cells must all be odd because we have 6, 8, 2 and 4 done. Oh, and that's quite interesting for how the snake's going to get through box 4. We've got to have one odd cell in this row that the snake uses to get from down here to up here. And if it was here or here, it can't connect up. So it's got to be here. These 3 have to be on the snake. So they're all orange. This box has now got all its odd digits. Everything else is even. Oh, it's so good. I love this puzzle. It's so... Oh. Well, I was going to say it's so clever, but... Oh no, column 1 is not broken. I can make this odd to get the snake through. But that's used all 5 odd digits in column 1. That's lovely. Okay, so how is the snake now going to get from here to the top? Well, it's got to come out here. Now it could come all the way to here and then go round, or it could come straight up. Don't know. And down here, now do I know yet how to do this? Yes, that was 3. So now I've got to put 2 odd cells on the snake here. They've got to be here and here. Now the snake has to go across here so as not to touch itself. And now I can use this 4 clue. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the snake, so it doesn't go here. And in fact, these 2 are even. All of these 4 in this box are even. What about the central box? We've got, I'm getting confused with my colours now, 2 blue and 1 purple. They're the evens, so that's purple as well. Now, this one should not be orange, that should be yellow. I've done it again. Now, we've used all the outside clues. Oh look, all the evens are done in box 2, so these ones are odd, which makes them yellow. Got it. And 6, 4, 8. Where can 2 be? Either there or there. Interesting. oh, okay, we can only use one more odd on the top row. And this snake has to finish with its tail there. So that's the odd. Everything else on the top row is even. Oh, my word. Okay, so now, well, yeah, the snake can't go round there or anything, so it has to just go straight up. That's the snake complete. I'm left with 2 dominoes that have one odd and one even. I don't know which way round they are, but every other cell in the grid, I know the parity now I've done the snakes. That's a fabulous construction. Isn't that clever? Very well done, Greg. I like this. Now, this central box, we can fill in 4. There's only 1 cell left. I mean, I'm Sudoku now, and I'm happy about that because I like it when it gets to that too. So 7 and 9 must be here because they can't be in the top row. That's a 5-3 pair. This can't be 4, and only 1 even cell remain. Okay, in fact, maybe the way to do this is an odd even Sudoku. So purple and blue are even. So let's do as many even cells as we can. Yeah, this has to be 8. 2 now has to be here. Can't be here for that 2. There's 2s in the first 2 rows. That has to be 2. Where's 6? Now we know it's there. So we can fill in the last 2 purple cells and the last 2 yellow ones. We've got the whole grid coloured, which is nice. Now we can just keep doing the odd numbers, and I mean they're pretty straightforward given what's been eliminated elsewhere. Yeah, they just go in. Brilliant. 6, 8, 2, and these ones have been resolved now, 6 and 8, and that's the last one. So that's the even numbers. They were very straightforward. Oh, hang on. 4 is not right. What have I done here? Please tell me I've put too many. Okay, this was not an odd even domino. As you no doubt noticed earlier, they're both odd because that was even up there. I hope I've got this right and haven't suddenly broken it because that would upset me. Right, so that's all the even numbers done. Now we've got a 1 here to finish the top row. 9 on this column has to be there. We can do 7 and 5 because of the placed 5. That resolves the 9-7 pair. Now down this column we've got 7 to place, 5 and 3, don't know which way round. That puts 7 here. 7, 3, 5, this is a 1-9 pair. Puts 3 here. Okay, we've got a 1-9 pair here and 3 here. 4, 3, 8. Oh, okay, now just concentrate a bit. Okay, that's now a 5, isn't it? Because of the 7 that we just placed in box 4. Okay, so that resolves this pair. We can do 1 there. 5 and 9 down here. And 7. Oh yeah, 7 and 3. We can resolve them because of this 3. That 1 has resolved the 9-1 up here. Now 5 and 9. Yeah, that sorts 5 and 9 in box 6. We've got 1, 5, 7 there, 3, 9 here, can't place any of them yet. 7 and 9 in column 6, okay. That resolves the 1-9 pair. That's a 5, it's the last number. We've got 1 and 7 to go in column 7. 3 and 9 in column 8. 3 here, that resolves the 3-5 pair at the top. And then we've got 1 and 5 here. What a lovely puzzle. I love that. Given the colours I used, it's not all that clear now to see the snakes in orange and blue, but they are there. Maybe it's worth just going white in the rest of the grid so that we can see those snakes in all their glory. That's not quite everything, but otherwise I might mishit something. So those are white as well, and these are white too. And finally we take out those, and there we go. Those are the even and odd snakes from this puzzle. Really nice puzzle from Greg Rogers Powers. He's certainly becoming one of my favourite compilers. That's a really good puzzle. I hope you enjoyed having a go at that if you did. I hope you enjoyed watching the solve if you didn't. I really got something out of that. I don't like snakes in real life, but my goodness, they can be fun in puzzles. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and check out all that stuff on Patreon. Do subscribe if you haven't already, and hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.